Hello, wolves. This is the DIM meeting number 7 for Scouting at Home. I'm DeAnna Perry. I'm a Cub Master here for the Waterloo District of the Capital Area Council of Boy Scouts in Austin, Texas. First, let's get our DIM meeting started off with our opening ceremony. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. The Scout law in sign language. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. This week's adventure is called Paws of Skill. As Wolf Cub Scouts, you know that it's important to stay physically fit and active. That's all part of Strong, one of the Scout laws. It's a pretty simple adventure for you, especially since everyone is having to stay home. And it's hard to keep physically fit when you're at home. It's real hard to not eat all the time when you're at home, because there's tons of time to cook, and you can cook some really, really good food. But the more food we eat, the more you need to stay active to stay physically fit. Your first requirement on this adventure is to talk with your family about what they do to keep physically fit. A lot of people have jobs that require a lot of walking, lifting, sometimes even running, moving, pushing, shoving things. If you're a landscaper, you do a lot of outside work. That will keep you physically fit. But in addition to that, there are other things that you should be doing, especially when you're at home. We can't get out and do what we used to do. And it's a little limited right now, but every single thing you need to do to stay fit, you can be done in your own house. You do not have to go to a gym. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do it all inside your own home or your own area in your yard if you have one, or balcony. You can use all of that to stay fit. It's always important when you are exercising, be sure that you've had plenty of water before you start exercising, and have water available to you so that if you do get thirsty while you're playing a game or just running or jogging, you want to be sure that you stay hydrated. That just means that you drink water to keep yourself physically fit and strong. You need to be talking with your family, not just your parents and grandparents, but also if you have any brothers or sisters or cousins, whoever is staying with you during this quarantine period. Get some ideas about what they do to stay physically fit and what they like to do, because if it's something you enjoy doing, you're going to do it more and you will stay more physically fit. Okay? Now, all of my cubs already know this, but you should know what physically fit means. It doesn't just mean being strong. It doesn't just mean being the fastest or the best. Okay? Physically fit just means that you can walk, you can do regular things that you enjoy doing, walk your dog, go shopping if you need to get something. And if you don't get out of breath and you don't get tired, that means you are staying physically fit. You should never be short of breath or have to struggle to breathe. And the harder you work at being strong and physically fit, the easier that it is for you. Another requirement is that you talk with your family. Think of all of the different sports that there are. Not just baseball and basketball, but there's soccer, there's rugby, golf is a sport. A lot of people like tennis, hockey, which we don't do much ice hockey here, but we do field hockey. Track, just running, jumping, throwing the discus, all of those are team sports. Just about anything that you see on the Olympics, if you've ever gotten a chance to see the Olympics before, you will get another chance. And right now they're showing reruns of games and Olympics that have already happened, because right now we can't go out and go to stadiums and play team sports, but we will be able to again. And all of the professional players are working very hard so that they can stay physically fit and be ready when it is safe to go back into the stadiums and have their regular games. All of you remembered, I sure hope you do, when we would leave just about everyone's favorite activity at school, their favorite class, is recess. Okay, that gives you a chance to either go to your gym or sometimes you stay in your classroom. If the weather's good, you can go outside and play. Okay, playing is a sport, and their kickball, that's a sport. Gymnastics is a sport. Everything that you do where you are moving around and staying physically active, that's making you strong. And that's what a scout is. Okay? Scouts take care of themselves and they help other people. And it's a lot easier to help other people if you have done a good job of taking care of you. And you never want to forget that you are the most important person to worry about taking care of. Okay? Lots of times when we would go outside, when we were having school in the classrooms, when we would have den meetings in the schools, okay, on our way to the track or on our way to the play park, okay, it's real important. And you need to be talking with your family about this. Don't just talk about what they do to stay fit. Talk to them and show them what you've learned, okay? You know that you have to warm up before you start playing anything. You don't just want to go from a dead sleep to running at 10, 20 miles an hour, the way some of my cubs can do. Okay? It's important that you warm yourself up by stretching. And all of you know how to do it. And everyone is real good, because as we are going outside to play, we work on stretching, whether we're marching, singing a song while we're doing it. When we get to the field or the playground, you also want to be sure and stretch your arms. Move them around, okay? This helps move your shoulders, okay? Your arms are real important for sports. It's not just your legs. All of you know how to stretch your legs to make sure that they stay warmed up. And that gets them ready, kind of like adding oil to a car. You are getting your own personal body engine ready to do a sport. And with your family, think of as many sports as there are that can be done with your family at home. And you are required for 1/2 hour, that's 30 minutes, choose a sport that can be played with your family, whether it's your family, cousins, parents, grandparents, any kind of sport. Play that sport with your family for 30 minutes. And while you're playing that sport, you want to remember what teamwork is. All teamwork is just like every den knows. A den is a team. Your Cub Scout pack is a team. Just as important, your entire family and household is a team. Everyone's a member of it. Everyone works together. The better everyone works together, the more successful you're going to be. Now, when you're talking about playing sports, it's not just winning, okay? It's more important to be a good sport. And after you have played the sport with your family, I want you to talk with whoever you played it with, and also your parents if they weren't with you. You need to think of at least 2 things that you've done that were sportsmanlike. Now, when you're on a team, not every person is going to be the best. And as a team, everyone works together. You encourage other people. You never know who is going to turn out to be the best at anything. But as Cub Scouts, part of being a scout is doing your best. And you should always be sure you're doing your best to show good sportsmanship. That means not hassling other people, not making fun of other people if they do something wrong and you get the point and they don't. You don't cut the other person down. Treat them the way you'd want to be treated, because that's going to be turned around, and I guarantee you, you will also make the same mistakes. As a scout and as a good sportsman, you should help other people who aren't as good as you are. Because when you show them what you've done to learn the sport, you learn what other people have done to learn it. That's why you've got to communicate. Talk with your family, talk with your brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever is in your family that you're at home quarantining with. Okay? Talk to them about what they think being a good sport is. And you need to know at least 2 things that you did when you were playing for half an hour team sport with your family. Okay? That could just mean saying, hey, good job, even if someone else scored the point and you didn't. Okay? If someone makes a mistake, like I said, you don't put them down. You just say, hey, that's okay, you'll get it next time. I've done that. You're getting better and better. Okay? Be positive. Say good things to people the way you want other people to say good things to you. That is what makes a real team work. Your family is a team, even if you're not playing a sport. For your family to be a winner, all that means is that your family works together to keep your household clean, to keep your space clean, whether it's indoors or outdoors, and working together. The more you work together, the better your team is, and the more successful your team is. You don't win anything by being a family, but you have already won if you are lucky enough to have a family. There are too many people who don't have families, or who had to leave their family, or their family left them. Okay? Be grateful if you have a family. Work hard to keep everyone in your family working together, and your family team is a success. That just means everyone's happier, healthier, and enjoying themselves more. Another requirement of this is, I'm talking about sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is being a scout, first of all. You have to know the rules. Just like our scout law, the list of 12 things. Okay? The scout law is kind of like a rule book for your life and how you live and how you act around other people, more importantly, to yourself. And Hopefully, everyone knows this. First rule of being a good sport is you have to know the rules of the game. The second thing is you have to follow the rules of that game. And more important, work hard to be, excuse me, to be a good team member. Now, this is, excuse me, this is going to be one of your, not only, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's something that you're going to have to work at, and you don't have to work very hard. You need to choose 2 activities that you don't usually do. Or it might be something that you already do, but you want to get better at. It can be something as simple as jumping rope. Everybody knows what jump rope is. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Jumping rope is a very good physical activity. It gets you moving. It helps your coordination. You might choose to do as many push-ups as you can, jumping jacks, even running in place, touching your toes and sit-ups. Whatever 2 activities like that you choose, you are going to do them every single day for 2 weeks. And while you're doing this, keep track of what you're doing, and you will be able to see how you've gotten better at it. And it doesn't matter what your activities are, but it is something you want to communicate with your parents, because if you are going to be jumping rope, just like with anything else, it's safety first. That is something that normally should be done outdoors, so you don't break something, knock something over, hit someone else, or hurt yourself. Okay? And another good idea is to make sure that your parents know what those 2 things are that you're going to be doing for 2 weeks. Okay? Be sure that they know and that they understand that you are doing this to stay physically fit, because that isn't just part of being a good scout, it's part of being a good sport. Okay? And after you have played the game with your family, maybe you're just going to play a game of tennis, ping pong, whatever you're doing, okay? Watch other people and think about yourself, and think of 2 things that you did during the half hour that you were playing this sport with your family that showed that you were a good sport. It could be something as somebody misses a ball and you are closer to it, you go get it and give it back to the other person. It can be something as easy as high-fiving the other person who scores a point. You didn't score it, but you should be happy for them, because that's what being a good sport is. You support all of your teammates, they help you. Everyone works together, just like in your Cub Scout pack. That's a team. Your den inside your Cub Scout pack, that is also a team. Everything put together works so much better and is so much more fun if everyone does follow the rules and know how to do it and do it right. Now, another requirement that is required is to go to a sporting event with your family. I understand right now there aren't sporting events happening, but there's television. There are all kinds of sports on television. Just watching with your family a game, whatever it is, watch that sport. Okay? Whether, if you're lucky enough to be able to go somewhere where it is in person, that's great too. But while you're watching, pay attention. See what the players do to help each other out. See how they act as a good sport. See what they do to work as a team. Because It's not just about winning the game. When you are exercising, when you're playing a sport, you win because it's keeping yourself physically fit. When you're physically fit and strong, guess what? That helps your brain work better, okay? Because it gets more blood to your brain and it helps you think clearer and you feel better after you've been exercising. Important, talk with your family about how they stay physically fit and what they think is important. Show them what you have learned about warming up. Okay? Just as important, if not more important than warming up and stretching, is after you have played a game, you need to cool down. That doesn't mean you just stop and go and sit down or lay down on the ground. No. You want to do the same thing in reverse. Stretch out. Walk slowly. Stretch your legs out. It feels good, but it also keeps you from hurting yourself. And it's something that everybody who plays any sport should be doing. You don't want to hurt yourself ever playing a game. And you sure don't want other people to get hurt. So help each other out. I know it's very difficult for everybody. I know it's hard for me to be cooped up and staying home. And my husband is a really, really good cook. A lot of people are baking with whatever it is they can find to bake with and cooking. Okay? Whenever you eat, though, remember, you've got to stay active. Keep active on your own. Work with your family. When dens are able to meet again, when we are able to have Cub Scout meetings again, you'll be doing the same thing, working in your den. And that is why everything is a team when it comes down to it. Let's say you're by yourself. Can you be a team when you're just by yourself? Of course you can. Tennis players do it all the time. Bowlers do it all the time. People who swim. People who dive. Any type of sport. Even if you are the only person on the team, that is a team. And I want everyone to remember a scout is a sportsman, and every scout is their own team. And you do your very best to help everyone around you, whether it's your teammates, your family, or someone that you don't know. Always be helpful. That is showing that you are a good sport. Thank everybody. Anytime your parents have questions, please go to waterloodistrict.org, or you can go to Facebook for Waterloo Scout District. My page on Facebook is DeAnna Scout, and that can be reached through our waterloodistrict.org webpage. Thank you so very much, and I hope everybody has a great week. Congratulations for completing your last adventure of our Scouting at Home series. We will be back next week because we want you to keep working on not just what you learned today, but everything we've learned during the entire Scouting at Home. Everybody have a great time, and don't ever forget to be a good sport while you're having a good time. Thank you.